Welcome to our third part of the Households of Faith study. I want to begin today with this scripture from Acts chapter 2. They were devoting themselves to the apostles' teaching and to the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to the prayers. And reverential awe came upon everyone, and many wonders and miracles and signs were being done by the apostles. And all who believed were together and held everything in common, and they began selling their property and possessions and distributing the proceeds to everyone as anyone had need. Every day they continued to gather together by common consent in the temple courts, breaking bread from house to house, sharing their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having the goodwill of all the people. And the Lord was adding to their number day after day those who were being saved. What a beautiful picture of what life together as Christians look like. Last time we talked about what a household was, and we expanded our thinking about households to include more than just those who are our immediate family who live under our roof. This time, I want to look at the research a little bit and give you a big, broad overview of what they found. So Barna Group, a research group in partnership with Lutheran Hour Ministries, did a study of practicing Christians, which they define as someone who said that their faith was important for their everyday life and attended worship at least once. And in that research out came this monograph. And in this, they talk about their findings. And what they did was they wanted to find what if there were any commonalities between those people who said that faith was the most important to them. And they found a few things. They found that what they call vibrant households talk about God and faith together at least weekly. That they pray together every other day or two. That they read their Bible together weekly. And that they have someone not from their family as a visitor in their home at least several times a month. And so from that, they have made what they call 3 pillars of vibrant spirituality that households of faith practice. Now, it's important to know that this does not mean if you do these 3 things that immediately in some sort of miracle silver bullet way that your household will become spiritually vibrant. But there are 3 things that were really common in all of those vibrant homes. And so maybe the thought is that these are just what these people do, and they are what foster the environment for a spiritually vibrant home. And these 3 practices are what we're going to look at over the next weeks. We'll spend 2 sessions, 2 parts on each one of the practices, diving in a little bit deeper and trying to bring out an application for you at home. So what are the 3 pillars? What were the 3 things that they took away? We already heard the 4 findings of a vibrant household, and so they've boiled it down to 3 separate things. Households that have spiritual practices or spiritual rituals, such as praying or reading the Bible together. Spiritual conversations, which just mean any time in which you talk about God. So it's not a evangelism thing, but it is more a let's talk about faith in our life. And then third, hospitality, and specifically intentional hospitality, because it doesn't happen naturally. It's something that we must do, and that, as they define, is bringing someone who's not in your immediate family into your home. So whether this would be a friend that is very close to you, that you would almost consider family but isn't, or a stranger even. We'll look more at that in the future. So I have 2 discussion questions for you today. Think about the household that you grew up in and share with the person you're watching this with or with someone how your faith was practiced and lived out in your childhood or in the home that you grew up in. Question number 2, what about now, the home that you live in? What practices, what things do you do intentionally to live out your faith in your everyday life? Our take-home point for today is prayer jars or prayer pails. This is a really great way for kids and families to write down prayer requests on popsicle sticks or slips of paper and put them into a jar and then pray over them as you put them in there, and then you get to see over time all the things that you've come to God in prayer for. As I mentioned before, we'll begin each of these things with 2 parts, 2 sections on each of the pillars. So next time we'll take up our first one on spiritual practices or spiritual rituals. And look forward to seeing you there next time on Households of Faith. God bless your day.